Hi there, my name is Jim Turner, and I wanted to share a little experience with you. It's like I got kind of nervous, right? So please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell. This channel's nothing without your subscription. Um, and so uh, this morning I came out and their little feeding trays were empty, so I gave them a little squirt. Refilled their little trays. I like to give them a little bit of treat now and then when they're coming in and out. They got access to some energy, go out and getting that pollen, because they literally work themselves to death, a lot of times. And if they have a little water with some sugar in it, that gives them that energy boost. And, common sense tells me that the hive will just be a stronger hive over time. So I give them a little treat now and then. When I come back here and kick back, relax, this is my bee cave. This little cove here, and so I went away and went about my business, you know, and I came back and I noticed that this was happening. Now, some of us beekeepers, we would be thinking, huh, they're getting ready to go into a swarm. They're swarming around the front. Yeah, that's what I thought. I came back here just a while ago and I thought, what? Swarming? I need to do a split right now before they do, right? Then I got that epiphany, right? And I went, if they're contemplating a split, they're going to be in these other baited nukes that I have all over. I just rebaited them yesterday, and so I was running around looking for anything flying in there. Nothing, not one bee in these mated nukes. Then I go, okay, I got this. There you go. So she was inspecting the phone. She said, "What you doing with this thing, huh?" And so then it dawned on me. What I did was they were eating it so fast when I was here earlier. Just in a minute or so, their little dishes were gone. So I refilled their dishes, and I put little puddles all over around on their landing board. Because it was dry, so when I put that little puddle, it would stay instead of running off. I would just put a puddle, so it wouldn't run. Get too much that it breaks that bubble plane, and then it runs off. So I put little bubbles, non-running ones, just little bubble, and that's what that is. They went and told their girlfriends, there is food right out in the front of the door. Did somebody order Uber? The order has arrived. So what that is, I got baffled. I was like, what? These things were adding up, right? Just having all these, I don't know, it looks like close to 1,000. Plus, at the same time, that when I noticed that when I came out, there was a big navigational flight going on. Plus all those, how many girls sitting on there covering that whole landing board. So I thought I was witnessing half my hive getting ready to leave, right? That's why I went and scrambled looking at my nukes, my baited nukes going in the front yard, my tree over in the front, and watching what? Not a one bee is in there. I go, no. If there's going to be a split, if your hive's going to do a split, and you've got freshly baited nukes, in trees around you, you've got, I've got 2 over here baited. I've got 1 up right here in the peach tree again. I rebaited that one, put it up there yesterday. I rebaited another one yesterday, put it up in the cherry tree about 60 yards away. And I was running around looking at all of them, just clearing. Nervous like, because I didn't want to have to chase down that swarm and go on someplace I can't get it and lose half my hive. Because what I'm trying to do is get these girls to build out all the frames. This is my main hive, and I went and took off my queen divider panel yesterday, and I looked into super up there. They hadn't started filling that out yet. But what they were doing is they were plugging all the holes of that queen divider panel. Plugging them, filling them with wax and honey. I was eating, I took it out and I went in the house and, you know, there's these type of candies that you get that they would put the sweetness juice inside and the outside it was wax. Well, that's what it was like. I put that little piece of cone in my mouth and I was chewing them. Wow, I remember this texture. Oh shoot. Then when I got done chewing all the honey out of it, I put it in my little container of beeswax, well, wax cone. So I melt that down and I use it for coating inside of my baiting hives and stuff, and putting it on my new frames. I'll take it and I'll form it into a little flat square, kind of like, and then I'll melt that to the corners of my freshly made homemade scrap wood honeycomb frames, and they just build right from there, man. It's like, okay, boy, she came right outside that phone, man. She went right to my eyeballs. Yeah, it is a dangerous place, but it's such a quiet place. I like it. Yeah. And so, yeah, that's because of me feeding them. They ain't gonna be swarming. There's just no signs. No signs, no signs. Nothing, no signs at all, other than that. Right? Other than that. That's the only sign there is. The sign says they ain't swarming. No, they ain't gonna swarm. No. They are in a feeding frenzy, not a swarming frenzy. They're happy because they're getting all that food. So I must have put, like, I don't know, maybe 10 little piles of 1-to-1 sugar syrup, dotted it all over the landing board, and that's what happened. Yeah. I mean, a normal beekeeper, they see something like that, and they're thinking, wow, that's either bearding or they're prepping to swarm. But they got their heads down. In the feeding trough, all of their heads are down, right? Scraping the bottom of that wood. And so, yeah, I just thought I'd share that. There's things that we do, we don't make certain connections, right? Because we're just thinking we're doing it for this reason, and then something else happens, going like, what's going on? Not realizing it's because of what we did, right? And that's what I came to the conclusion of. And so anyway, I thought I'd say that. Thumbs up, subscribe. Now, if you go into, did I say my name's Jim Turner? Yeah, my name's still Jim Turner. Has been for a while now. So if you subscribe and you go into the list, your subscription list, and you see, of course you have to sign up for YouTube. You have to put your profile. So you put your profile, create a profile on YouTube. Really simple stuff, man. It's about one of the easiest things you can ever do is create a profile on YouTube. Then you subscribe, and then you'll see there's options on the left, and you click on subscriptions. You scroll down until you see Jimmy Turner 64, and you click on that. And you go into you click on playlist, and you can see all the different kinds of topics that I talk about. It's not just bees. I got other things going on, you know. I'll do a few things, and you might find something entertaining in there or educational. I do a lot of how-tos. I've learned a lot of things through trial and error, and I like sharing those things. And some of them really have to do with your safety. So I like sharing that wisdom so that people don't have to pay that price that they've probably already paid more than once. And I figure a way around those things, right? Now, I still got bees going up right now into that swarm box, but when they come out, they're not going down there. So when I watch them come out, they do that boomerang thing, and they go right down in there. So there goes one right now, and there she went, right down in there. She's just flying around, and there she just went in. It's kind of like, having a Trans Am when you're young and then one later on. You missed that thing? They missed their whole hive. That's where they swarm to. My instincts is that those are the bees that initially led them to that box. So what you can do is when they find, when a group of bees, particularly a group, bigger the better, as far as the home-based bees are before they swarm, and they go and they locate a hive that they, or an area that they want to swarm to, the bigger the group dancing, the bigger, the more there are, they're saying, let's go here, and then they point the direction. That's the place that the whole swarm is going to go to. Whoever does it, whoever has the best dance, right? best, whatever. So that's not a swarm, Gilda. That is pigs in a trough. Yeah, man, I was just nervous. Like, what, you be, you know, if you didn't know what the heck was going on, you know, you didn't put that one together with the other one to get that two thing. Yeah, you know. See me Christmas. So I had some rocks that I had in this watering thing. Right here, I had the red rocks, and I'll be doggone, man. All this hot weather, I had not seen those girls go in that water to get water at all. Not one. Anytime I was sitting back here, not at all. So a while ago, I took all the rocks out and I put water in there, but it was from the water hose. From the water hose. And that has a smell to it, that water. It's not natural. It has that rubbery, oily kind of smell. And they didn't want to go in that either. So I went in the house and got some mineral water. And so what I'm going to do, because the water that we get here, it is mineral water. They add the proper balance of minerals. And by leaving it set out overnight, any remaining chlorine, which is to keep the water sterile, will dissipate like out of a swimming pool within that time period. Well, probably way before that, probably an hour. It's a very small amount, and just enough to keep any bacteria growing in your water before it gets to you. And right, and so I'm letting water distill overnight, and it is mineral water, so it'll be distilled mineral water. And I'll see how they do tomorrow, see if they're in it. Now, I did put some of that directly from my faucet in there, and I did see some go in there and buzzing around it. Like, okay, this smells better. And if they feel it, one of them feels it safe, they go and say, yeah, this is good water. This isn't the red rock water. This isn't the hose water. This is mineral water. This is what. So I'll see if they're landing in it tomorrow, because yesterday it was in the mid-90s. They weren't in that water. Today, mid-90s, they weren't in that water, but since I've replaced it with clean water, it's mineral water, but it hasn't been distilled. So, but I've seen some girls bounce around on it, like, oh, you know, and inspecting it. So I'm anticipating that once it gets distilled overnight, distilled is what? I don't know. It's just when any chemicals like for anything. There's other. I mean, just what you call distilled. I don't know. This is just water, our city water, and it's really good, healthy water that we have here. It's considered one of the top waters in the world. Eugene water, EWEB. The filtering system and the balance of minerals that they put back into the water after they purify it, and our water comes out of the rocks, the mountains, so it's really good water. I've had people come here and go, man, this is the best water I've ever tasted, right out of the faucet. I'm going, yeah, we had a flood a week ago and it still doesn't have the same taste. They go, oh, this tastes great. It was just a little bit too much minerals at that time, but I understand. Yeah, we've got good water. So tomorrow I'll see how they're doing with the water, and I'll find that right balance of what they need, because hot weather like this, man, they should have water. In fact, I took my Mister, because they were collecting up front there, so I was going, oh, I'm getting ready to swim. I'm gonna stop that right now. So I got my pump. I keep it right here just in case they start acting weird on me. I can just take this and just start spraying around me, as I'm running away. So I sprayed the front entrance with this, and they all went in. Oh, it's raining. Let's go inside. Uber doesn't deliver in the rain. So I just thought I'd share that little curious situation. Right? It's strange how what we do has an effect on something that we didn't contemplate before we did what we did. Right? We don't see the correlation because we see it so simple thing. The thing we're doing is so simple. We're not actually projecting beyond that. Right? We're only seeing the apple. Not that it's falling on our head. Yeah, we just see the apple and it hits us, then it's falling. Right? And that's kind of what happened here. I did something, and there was a response that I didn't anticipate. Right? And so they're all looking for more. So maybe because I didn't have good water in their watering tray all this time, because I had never seen, that's been there for weeks, I had never seen any girls go in that watering tray. So I thought, oh, I guess maybe they're getting plenty of water from the flowers that they're getting, because flowers in the nectar, there's water, and they'll kind of suck some of the moisture out so they can put it in their pouches on their legs, otherwise just run right out. So they get liquid from the flowers every time they go on a flower, typically. Of course, it depends upon the flower, how much moisture is in the nectar, and all that kind of stuff, including the pollen. If the pollen's too dry, too wet, excuse me, they'll suck a little bit out. They have themselves a drink. And so they get water. It's just that when it's really hot, especially in a dearth, oh my gosh, there is not enough flowers. And, bees die. It's one of the most dangerous times for bees is during a dearth. And especially if we're not being attentive to the dearth and the no water, they can literally die of dehydration. It happens every day. We're just not being a good beekeeper, paying attention to their needs. And so if you put some distilled water, I distill my own, simple, and you just keep this is just a bird bath. I converted it, it's what I do. And now it's a bird, actually, it's a bird water hole, but I gotta share this, what I saw many times. I saw bees, this is no jive, man. I came out here, there was a bird in the bird bath. A bee in the bird bath. It was a bird. It was nothing but a bird bee. And it was struggling. I was getting ready to get a stick, and it got itself out. I was sitting on the edge. I watched that bee jump back in the water. It jumped back in the water. It dived back in the water. Oh no. No. And then it flipped on its back. And it was doing its wings. Like it was trying to clean under its armpits or something. And it did that for, I don't know, a good long time. Like a minute and a half. Then it flipped back upright, walked back out. I had little sticks there and it walked along the sticks and then jumped back in. More backflips. I'm going like, am I watching the bee's equivalency of a backstroke? Is this what I'm watching? So this bee was taking a bath. Splish splash, bees taking a bath. Not about a Saturday night. And I watched it happen so many times that obviously that's what they're doing. They're taking a bath. Maybe getting parasites off or something, Maybe they got some pesticides on them or something else they don't like on them. And they jump in the bird bath and they take the bath. And so what I'll try to do is I usually don't come back here with my phone. So I just come here and sit for a few minutes to take my breaks because I get really physical with some stuff and I like that, and I'm gonna go kick back and watch the girls. And so I usually don't have my phone with me. I just sit down for a few minutes and get back to my business. I just make sure there's no wasp. You know, I like to come back here for at least a few minutes some now and then, because all of a sudden you can start having lots of wasps come in. I've seen it, man, many times. And so I like to keep track of it. All that is from me feeding them. I was so nervous, man. They're gonna swarm. Oh my gosh, the world's coming to an end. Oh shoot. They still haven't filled out the super yet. Not even built out the cone. It's been up there for a month and a half. They still haven't built out that comb on that super. But they were blocking all the holes on the queen divider board. Blocking all the holes, filling with cone. Even putting honey. They didn't want to go through that screen. Bad screen? I don't know. So I just took it out. And now they're free willy. And that gives them a lot more space too, because now they can freely go up in the super. Now they were going through it. I've seen some up on the top board up there, you know, and walking around and eat some of the sugar candy that I had up there that's kind of dried, but there's nibbling on that old dry sugar candy. There wasn't much left, if any of it. It looked like it was gone. They were just see if they can get something off the panel or something. And they were up there nibbling on the panel. Where I do, I had like sugar cakes, you know, during the winter, and I'll also add. Sometimes I'll just put a layer of just regular sugar. Take this mister and I'll mist it. Thin layer. Until it looks wet, like it's the sugars are starting to turn clear. Then I add sugar on top of that, and then another layer, and then I spray that until it starts to look a little clearer all over the place. But not running. I don't spray the sugar that's by the hole. That'll absorb any runoff before it goes down into the hive. So I kind of leave the center dry, sugar around the hole dry. So if I water too much anywhere else, it'll come around and it'll slowly attach to that sugar around the hole, and because that sugar will absorb that without running into the hole. And I can always tell by looking at my observational panel whether I did it good or not. I go, well, I'll do that different next time because I got some runoff. So I learned how to, you know, using my observational panel. I made a comment on one of them about, man, I'm still learning things that I can do with this observational panel. It's not just bromites. If there's a queen cell forming, if I suspect a swarm, say for example, I pull this panel out. Here, I'll just go ahead and pull the panel out. So I pull this panel out. I'm gonna. How do you drop this thing? Oh yeah, here it is. So say for example, I pull this panel out, and I'll just. That's a little bit too much of a drop. It went skydiving. It went Rocky Mountain. So say for example, I pull that control panel out, right? Oh shoot, there's so many girls on that board. I don't think so. That's too many girls. That's too many girls on the board. Too many girls on the board. It wasn't a few minutes ago. I was thinking about it then. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to pull that panel tonight, take a look at it, see what's going on. So I can detect using this observational panel because it's pure white, so I can really get it. Like everything stands out, right? And it's pure white, which I don't know. What else is pure white? Eggs of some sort, maybe. Most things have pigmentation besides white. So tonight I'll pull this panel, and I'm gonna put this other one in, and I'm gonna look for little clusters. So if they're building out a queen cell, I'll look for that tomorrow. So I'll pull that out tonight, take a peek, put a new panel in, and then look to see, and then pull it out probably in the morning. No, they'll be sleeping, they won't be building. So I'll probably pull it out again tomorrow night and take a peek and see if I see any little, like they're building out cone right here, and they're building out a little cone here, and each one is a swarm cell, right? Okay, split time. I'll be splitting. And so I haven't put in my observational panel in my new swarm hive. That's my peach swarm hive. Right? I haven't put one in there yet. I just didn't want to. I wanted to get them settled in for about a week. Um, it'll be a week. It'll be a week that they've been in there. Day after tomorrow, and then I'll throw a panel. The reason why is because I'm maybe throwing something uh, foreign inside where they live, and I'm not sure if how much vegetable oil smell is. Um, I want them to feel more established and in that high before I start throwing foreign things in there. Even a coated control observational panel. I was just nervous. I was gonna do it the first day. I went, that hippocampus, that wisdom thing, right or wrong don't matter. Just instincts. That's all we got anyway. At the end of the day, is our instincts. Go against that. And, who are we? I don't know. That's our instincts is our best friend, And I try not to ignore my best friend. Say hello to my best friend. Oh, sorry about that. Tap, 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 tap. Oh my gosh, yeah, that whole board is just packed. Is he gonna give us some more food? I don't know. I'm thinking about not doing that no more. If they're gonna give an expression of swarming, that's a nervous look, It's like, I checked the super frames haven't even been built out at all. Only thing I saw was the wax that I rolled on them. So I melted some old comb and I purified it, and ran it through a cheesecloth and then melted it back down and put a thin layer on each side of my super frames, the plastic ones that came with the plastic ones. So they had a good head start, and they haven't even built out. I couldn't see any comb being built out other than what I rolled on there. That was it. What? So I'm guessing that they're putting all of their honey on the second brood box. She's busy laying her babies all in the bottom box. They've turned their brood box into a honey box. And I'm thinking that as they consume that, well, they're not going to consume that. So whatever honey they got in there, in the brood box, it's going to stay. Might have to take that brood box down ordinary for them to fill the supers. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off. So I'm gonna put a frame of honey. And I'm gonna put some pollen and some brood and some eggs. If I can get all that in the 2-frame nuke, and I'll take those 2 frames. Oh my god! You get maybe a 2-framer can hold. It can hold 2 cups of bees. So when we buy a box of bees, it's typically somewhere between 2 and 3 cups. So about 10,000 bees, right around there. And so, that'll easily fit in a 2-framer. Easy. In fact, that's what you want. You want them to feel comfy and cozy, nice and snug. So to start a new hive with only a couple cups of bees, 2-framer is a really good way to go. You'll build the frames out really quick. Like this hive, this swarm that came in, that was probably about equivalent to 4 bee packages that came in. And in less than 7 days, they had all 6 of the frames just about 50% done. All 6. All of them look kind of even. They all look evenly done. It's like, okay, we're going to split up in groups. You 60 go over there, we 60 go here, 60, 60, 60, or whatever, 100, 1,000, I don't know. And they all just kind of filled all 6 of them out, like, fairly evenly at the same time. On a mission, right? That mission was not impossible. And so I imagine it's been about a week later. I imagine they probably got all those 6 frames done. So I'm sitting here, right? Bees are going this way like this, and I'm doing the dodge thing, and they're going this way. And the girls, just a comparison here, right? The girls that fly by, they sound like a Cessna going by. They buzz right by my ear. Sometimes they'll bounce off my ear, back of my head, on the side of my face, going in and out. And all of a sudden I hear what sounds like a 747 coming in. That's, just metaphorically speaking, in comparison, sounds like a 747 in comparison. I'm going, what? First time I went, what the heck is that? I thought it was a bird coming in to, attack the bees or something. And I seen that go past my eyeballs here on my right side, and I saw that it was a drone. They have a loud sound, man. But when they get right next to your ear, they go right by your ear. And you got regular foragers going by your ear all the time. And all of a sudden you have a drone go by the same right there. You can really hear the difference. It's dramatic. Cessna 747. And that is the best analogy I can draw. I don't know any other names of any planes that are that dramatically different. So, yeah, those girls are just feeding. I spoiled them, man. I spoiled them. That's why they're all out there. You know what's happening. Well, I was the creator of that. It was my fault. So instead of in there building comb and doing stuff, they're eating at a restaurant instead of in there working. They're over at Arby's or Burger King or something. They're just eating out, or steakhouse. Oh my gosh, I did that. I mean, just think about it. It doesn't make any more sense. It makes sense, right? I mean, that's crazy. So, yeah, there's nothing. There's not one single sign that they're getting ready to swarm other than that. Should I spit them right now? It's 7 o'clock in the evening. Yeah. They're just pigs at a trough. All right. Well, I just thought I'd share that. Please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell. This channel is nothing without your subscription. You can, if you don't have a profile with YouTube, it's really easy to sign up to YouTube and get a profile. And you can go in and watch all your subscriptions, subscribe to all of your personal interests, and on mine you can, once you create your profile, you can go in you'll see on the left hand side subscription. Go in there on Jimmy Turner 64. I've got a number of different topics that I talk about besides bees, and watch whatever intrigues you. Whatever you're curious about. That's what I do on YouTube anyway. I do the same thing. All right. And all right. Well, you have a nice day. And if anything else curious happens, I'll let you know. Bye now. Swarming. Could have been. Huh? What would you think? I mean, really, what would you think? Oh, gone, landing on my ear. And on my ear, she thought she was going to stay. Well, staying on the ears. No activity. In there fanning, in and out. That's my swarm hive. And that, yep, Uber arrived and they're feeding. I'm the Uber. All right. Have a good life. Bye now.